Welcome to the Real Estate 401k Show. Here are your hosts, Ryan Gerdes, Mike Weinstein, and Justin Frederick, helping you build a legacy of wealth through real estate. Powered by the Recon Group at West USA and the Frederick team with Fairway Mortgage. NMLS number 625918.
You know, it was an interesting, and we always say, you know, the three of us, for those of you watching right now, the three of us have got extensive radio background, and I've always maintained that the conversations off air, whether it's during show prep or during commercial breaks, are really some of the best dialogue and the best content. And so,
there's definitely some parental advisory, prefaces.
There's
Especially when Mike talks.
There's a reason why you're not seeing that content. But you know, we had an interesting discussion, and I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Every once in a while, it doesn't happen very often, but Ryan can sometimes ask incredible questions, intelligent questions.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
And so you asked the question, and it's fascinating because if you want to be wealthy, you need to hang out with wealthy people, and you need to see what wealthy people are doing. And Justin, Ryan asked the question to you is because you're on the lending side, the finance side, what are wealthy people doing with their money? Where are they investing their money in today's real estate climate? And the answer, it kind of shocked me. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of shocked by it.
Still investment properties. We're seeing investment properties, short-term rentals. And the thing that's different now than what we've seen in the past was they're putting down the least amount of money that they can with these higher rates. And that was shocking to me, but that's what I'm seeing. And I luckily I get to talk to these people, and I don't mind asking questions. I'm like, why so little down? You know, I know the rate's higher here. You're paying more points. Why so little down? And their money's doing very well in the stock market right now. They've been saying the past couple or the last year their money's been doing extremely well. They still want to be into real estate. They know it's a good time to buy because they're getting good value for their money in an investment property. But their money's doing well in the stock market, so they don't want to withdraw their funds from the stock market, and they want to keep funds in there and make money on that, and then make money in real estate. But they see a huge draw to investment properties and appreciation of properties. It's cool because we've been talking about appreciation of what's going to end up happening with the market with the low inventory and all this industry coming out here. But now these investors are seeing it for themselves, and they're coming up with their own ideas, and they're investing. And I feel like we're hitting close to 50% monthly on investment properties.
Now, Ryan, I get it. Some people accidentally walk into wealth. Some people inherit wealth that they wouldn't be able to achieve on their own. But I think those are the outliers. For me and my money, most of, if not almost all the wealthy people I know are smart, and they're intelligent, and they do their homework, and they do their research. And with intelligence, I think, I don't even know if intelligence is quite the word, but the ability to ignore all the noise and see the opportunities that are out there. And it's a conversation that we have with all of our clients. In our current market, it's all about opportunities. Don't ignore the interest rate. As a matter of fact, the higher the interest rate right now, it benefits the buyers because typically it's the better the deal you're going to get out there.
I think I'm gonna amend what you said just a little bit. I
Sure.
think you'll agree with this. Is that they're not necessarily smart people. They're people that are putting smarter people than themselves around them. And so that inherently makes them smarter.
Okay, it's even better.
In my opinion. So I think that one thing that you didn't mention here that we had talked about before we came on was that back when rates were at 3.5% even on jumbos, they were putting down massive down payments, and you're sitting back scratching your head like, why wouldn't you borrow as much as
free money?
It's basically free money. But we're not talking about the tax advantages that are being offered there. So most wealthy people, they have a fantastic team behind them of CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, etc., that are going to make sure that they're maximizing their tax advantages. So that being said, they're making good money over there on the stock market. They're going to keep putting more of their cash over there. And they're like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and eat that interest because it's not affecting my day-to-day. I have enough reserves behind us where most people, they're 2 or 3 paychecks away from having to either file bankruptcy or do massive financial mobilization, right? So they're sitting back and they're saying, hey, I know that even though my monthly payment on this property is $10,000 a month after interest, taxes, and insurance, principal, et cetera, and I can only bring in $8,000 a month on it if I'm doing a short-term rental or whatever. Okay, so you're in the whole $2,000 a month. That would break a lot of people that aren't in that echelon. So that being said, they're like, well, I'm okay with it. I'm more than making it back up over on my stocks or on my other investments. But then I have a $2,000 a month loss that I get to show on my overall portfolio.
It's so powerful because, back before I really understood investing and really understood how money works and how to make real estate work for me, it was like, okay, come hell or high water, you cannot be in a negative cash flow situation.
That's not the way the wealthy think. That's not the way the wealthy work.
Yeah.
So they're perfectly fine with having that negative 2,000 because they're writing it off. But then at the end of the day, their appreciation has been skyrocketing because most everybody, including myself, feel like we're more at the bottom of that sine curve, and that we have more uptick in our near future. And so that's what they're hedging their bets on.
All right, if you want to learn more about building and investing a strategy, and you want to talk with one of our real estate wealth managers, because this is what our team, we eat, sleep, and drink this all the time. I can guarantee you the conversations that you're going to have with our team are going to be a lot different than what you're going to have with a traditional real estate agent. But if you want to talk wealth, and you want to learn more about what the wealthy people do, text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. And so for you, Justin, how is the wheels churning? Because, the three of us at this table, we pretty much for the most part think alike. And you asking those questions and trying to understand and have an understanding of what wealthy people are doing with their money, what goes on in your head when you hear it and see it?
Well, I take a look at my own stuff and I'm like, you know what? Absolutely. I'm looking at my stocks. I'm seeing how much my stocks are growing. And some are just, they're exploding and some of them are doing okay. So it makes me rethink, well, maybe I pull the money out of the ones that aren't doing well, put it into real estate. I know that there's going to be appreciation. I can feel it. I have that gut feeling. All the statistics are showing it. Maybe I need to buy another one, Maybe I need to get into this again. But at the same time, being a lender, trying to make it through the storm and trying to decide what do I want to do?
Yeah, it's interesting. The wheels have completely flipped for my wife. Back when the market crashed in 2007, we lost millions of dollars worth of real estate. At one point, we owned 40 doors with a couple of apartment buildings. It was bad news. We were scraping for pennies and so forth. And now, fast forward. Not a week goes by, my wife's like, when are we buying our next property? Like, it's amazing.
Super cool.
I mean, my story, you guys know it, but you guys out there may not know it. When 2006 hit, Christine was, hey, I'm pregnant. And I'm like, hey, this is great. The market's just falling out from right underneath me. All these banks, countrywide.
Stop it. The first question is it mine? I hope she doesn't listen to our podcast.
She doesn't listen to you anyhow, buddy. It's all good.
Smart woman.
And the rug been pulled out from under me. All these banks were closing their doors. So, all these contracts were just falling out of escrow. And nowhere in sight was it going to come back. I ended up taking a job over at a university, and then I was doing that in the morning, and I was trying to sell real estate in the afternoon very unsuccessfully. And then for a short time, I was even delivering pizzas at night.
It's amazing. We'll be driving down the road or somewhere, and he'll go, just turn here. It's a shortcut. I'm like, how in the heck would you know that? He goes, I deliver pizzas.
I deliver pizzas. And I don't need MapQuest or Google Maps.
When he showed me the back way to the Costco that's on the other side of the freeway,
Mind blown.
Mind blown. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have to wait in that light all the time.
I had all my terrors. You could just give me an address. Dad, take a left. You can jump through the alley over there, then jump the fence over there, and you'll get there. It'll save you 5 minutes on your delivery route. It was,
just by a nod. We've got 2 youngsters in the studio. You're not going to be able to hear them, but do either of you know what a Thomas guide is? See, there you go. That's how you learn.
Yeah,
we had to use maps.
Oh, we haven't had our own grid system. But anyhow, what the hell were we talking about before
pizzas.
that?
We're talking about pizzas.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't know.
What wealthy people are doing with their money.
What wealthy people are doing with their money.
You were talking about your story.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my story. So, and then I went and took a short sale class and started learning a little bit about what's going on with that. And I was like, damn, like, this has been here the whole time, and obviously hindsight's always 20/20. I saw all the buzz about all the classes going on for short sales. I'm like, I don't know, who cares about that? And so it took that, started to really learn and dive in, and then all of a sudden I was doing short sales and some REOs, and that's what dug me out of it. So I look at what's going on right now. Obviously, this isn't apples and oranges compared to what we were working with back then. But there's so much. When you hear the old term, there's always opportunity. That's true, but you not only need to surround yourself with the right people, but be open to education.
Well, and as we always say on our team, money never disappears; it just moves.
It just moves.
And so I want to, in the last couple of minutes here, just talk about those opportunities. We've been saying it over and over again, but first of all, you want to text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON if you really want to understand real estate investment strategies and really peer into our brains and our minds, because the 3 of us are very successful and savvy investors ourselves. We want you to text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. Again, text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. We've been saying it for months. People are getting paralyzed by interest rates, and they're staying, even though inventory is low, as of this morning, whatever day this is that we're recording this, even though there was like 15,000 homes in the MLS, active homes, when I search the MLS, I want to know how many single-family homes in Maricopa County that are active and coming soon, and it was just over 6,100. So people go, well, how in the heck how come these homes aren't flying off the shelf necessarily? And it's because interest rates are so high, and it's paralyzing people. And so that's when, for me, it's time to jump in the game because of the opportunities. So my understanding of the appraisal process, the appraiser's job is really just to justify the amount that's on the purchase contract.
Correct.
It doesn't happen I'm not going to say it never happens. It doesn't happen very often that an appraisal comes in higher than what the purchase price is, because that's not necessarily what their job is to do. The last 3 transactions that I have done, representing buyers, representing investors, all 3 of them came in well below of the appraised value. Justin, that's opportunity.
Yes. You're saying that the purchase price is well below the appraised value.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Final sales price.
And I can definitely second or note. What am I trying to say?
We don't know.
I've seen it myself. So,
and I'm the one who's having a cocktail.
Yeah,
You're
you
not.
guys,
Jeez.
It's been a long week already. What is it? What day is it? But you guys do an extremely good job at finding these properties, and I see it firsthand. That's what I meant to say. I see it firsthand. I'm not talking a little bit either. I'm not talking 5,000 over. I'm not talking 10,000. I've seen $40,000 over. These are giant numbers, and I guarantee that's a conservative estimate on the appraisal, because they're trying. It's got to trigger them to get audited when they go that high.
All right, that's a great point, Ryan, because there are opportunities out there, but who you work with matters. Because a lot of agents that I have come across who don't have great negotiating skills and don't recognize the opportunities, you might be paying more for that house. This is what we do. We know how to negotiate. That's why I tell people. People go, well, why should I hire you? I go, listen, first of all, rule number 1, you don't have to like me. Rule number 2, chances are you're not going to like me. Okay? That's really it. But I'm one of the best negotiators you're going to ever come across. And at the end of the day, do you like money? Are you looking for a great deal? That's why you hire me.
Yeah, and everyone ends up liking me and then just trusting you. Bing bang.
It's true.
No, I think that there's a lot of creativity that comes in with what we do. I think that there's a lot of people that just say, oh, okay, if I'm going to use it as an investment, then I'm either going to flip it or I got to buy it and I got to just rent it out to a long-term tenant. But there's just so many different opportunities out there. You might have heard what we've been doing with our midterm rentals. And the funny thing is that there is data out there. There's just not a whole lot of it. But, oh, my God, is there a market for it? And so when we're seeing some of these properties, we're like, what are we going to do with that? I mean, it doesn't take much to furnish these things. And so we have a number of different investors out there that are starting to see a lot of upside when they got their teeth kicked in because our short-term rental market got saturated by about 600% when
Super Bowl.
before the Super Bowl. So all these people who were running legitimate businesses were getting their teeth kicked in because they had a bunch of hacks that were just like, oh, you know what, I'm going to rent out my house and move into my parents' house for the week and okay, good. I'm not mad at you for making money, but I mean, we've never seen lower reviews on Airbnb, VRBO in our town than we did during that week because people just didn't know what the heck to do.
Yeah.
So they didn't know how to run the business. They didn't know how to. They weren't true investors.
Well, I stopped listening when you mentioned the word Super Bowl, and I thought to myself, oh, my gosh, football season's coming.
It's coming.
Oh, dude.
It's almost here.
So Mickey's birthday was on, we took him and a bunch of his buddies over to Topgolf. And so we're like, all right, Christine and I were just hanging out there watching them. And I'm like, let's sit here and put every single game into our calendar that we want to watch. And so we sat there for an hour and a half, just boom, putting together our calendar on it. It was the most excited I've been about football since football ended.
Man, I married wrong. I can tell you that's not the conversation I have with Mindy. Anyways, if you'd like to learn more about building a strategy to build wealth in real estate and how to recognize the great opportunities, all you got to do is text the word wealth to 623-AZ-RECON. That's wealth to 623-AZ-RECON.
Thank you for joining us on the Real Estate 401k Show. If you want more information on how to build wealth, click on the link or text us at 623-297-3266. That's 623-AZ-RECON.